Welcome back to another unsolicited and uneducated football analysis by your friend David Valentin. This time, this video is going to be about Orlando City, the organization, the business entity, because a lot of things are happening in our club. I have to tell you one thing. One of the things that Orlando City fans have been suffering from is from this sense that players are their friends, that players are here forever. Tom Traxler, former on-air talent, announcer extraordinaire, color commentator for this club from 2011 to 2018, told me once as I interviewed him for an episode of Orlando Lions Den podcast that you shouldn't feel bad when people move on. It's the nature of the business, and also because players, managers, staff come and go. The supporter remains. That's who never leaves the club. And I have taken that to heart. And when I see players move on, I see staff move on. Well, I'm happy for them for their next adventure. And also I'm sad because they're not going to be around to hopefully enjoy the success that is coming. But Orlando City fans have this thing. They just because they take a picture with a player at Metro PCS or a Publix, or just because they sign their shirt, all of a sudden, they have this bun with this player. Like, oh my God, he runs really fast. He's all over the pitch. He. Listen, the merchants of hustle and the merchants of hype do not need to apply for this club anymore. I think that the best analogy I can give you is if an army throws 7 billion bullets at an enemy and kills 2 people, how ineffective is that? Well, this has happened in Orlando. We have been refuge to a lot of big names, and we have nothing to show for. Okay? The last time Orlando City lifted a trophy, and it wasn't the Orlando City Invitational. Scratch that. The last time Orlando City lifted a trophy worth anything was a regular season championship in 2014 in USL. Orlando Pride has never won anything. Anything. The only time they had the opportunity to go into a tournament to win something, some of the players decided it was a fantastic idea to go to downtown Orlando, party on, had a few beers, catch some COVID, and infect the rest of the team. So that's where we are right now with the organization. I have to say, Jared Dillon is joining the Orlando City and Orlando Pride on the business side of the house. This executive comes to Orlando from the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team in the National Hockey League, back-to-back champions, 2020-2021, an organization that has an incredible footprint in the Tampa Bay area. I work sporadically in Tampa, but when I go, you see Tampa Bay Lightning, everything, go Bolts, everywhere you go. And I think that in Orlando, it's time to go back to that. Friends that are also fans of the Tampa Bay Lightning, they say that the game day experience was fantastic. That it's just fun to go to a game. When was the last time people said that about Orlando City? The whole package, the whole experience. We haven't had that in a very long time. As a matter of fact, I tweeted him and I said, hey, as a season ticket holder and a fan of a long time, please listen to us. We've been neglected. The penny pinching has killed the game day atmosphere, and we need somebody to rescue us. And he actually responded to me, and I thought that was very, very thoughtful of him, very sincere. The interviews that I had seen him do, he's not promising winning because that's not his job. He's not in football operations. He is in the business side of the house. He's the guy that's going to make sure that my beer is cold, my seat is going to be clean, and I'm going to have great pricing at the concessions. That's what I want, That's the type of guy that I want to let me know that when I go to the stadium, I'm going to have a blast, and that the game should be the pinnacle of a great day out with the family. And so for that, I'm super excited to see what he is able to do. Also, Orlando Pride is rumored to be about to hire Amanda Cromwell, who was a coach here in Orlando for 15 years, University of Central Florida women's team, and has recently been with the University of California, Los Angeles, and had a lot of success there as well. And I think this is going to be fantastic. We never had a female coach. Well, we did in an interim basis, but we never had a female coach that that was gonna come and bring her vision and her imprint on Orlando Pride. Orlando Pride has been a team that has been suffering from a lot of mismanagement, and we're gonna talk about that. But first, let's clear out the stuff with Orlando City, because this video was going to be primarily about Orlando Pride. Orlando City already released the list of players that are no longer going to be here. All I'm going to say is thank you guys for your efforts. I wish you well in the rest of your career. This is what it takes to win. People are crying and mad. They're like, oh my God, we're going to rate all these players. We're going to suck next year. We were sucking this year, and we were sucking last year with these players. And because we're trying to make changes, now you're getting mad. Sometimes I feel like just driving against upcoming traffic with this fan base. They want to win, but at the same time, they want to keep players just because they took a picture with them at our Metros PCS or at a Publix, or they signed their ball one day after a game. All of a sudden, the merchants of hype, the merchants of hustle, need to go away from Orlando. Orlando City, the Orlando City fan base, to me, sounds like a battered spouse that gets a beating, calls 911, tells the police officer he's an animal, he almost killed me, goes in front of the judge, and then goes, he's a good dad, Your Honor, I was just mad. He's not gonna do it again. Please don't send him to jail. And then gets the crap beat out of them again. We all know that. I mean, that's, I'm sorry, and it was a crass example. Well, it's a real one, okay? And the Orlando Pride, for the past few years, has been treated as a separate entity from Orlando City, with different focus, and I think that's where the big failure has happened. Orlando City was a losing disaster, but packed the house. Meanwhile, Pride, with what my friend Sergio Ruiz Torres, who's the Spanish voice on the radio for Orlando City, described once in my podcast Tiro de Esquina as the Messi and Ronaldo of the female side of the sport, with Marta and Alex Morgan, and yet they fail to win anything or even make playoffs. Orlando City in 2015 had a fantastic year to the standards of the era as a expansion team, missing the playoffs by 5 points, finishing 7th, which at the time was out of the playoffs. And then in 2016, which in my opinion was detrimental, because you're still trying to figure out MLS, and now you're going to go into 2 other leagues, brings Orlando City B in USL and the Orlando Pride in NWSL. OCB has been a hit and has been a miss. It hasn't been a hit. It has been a disaster. That's a video for another day. And Orlando Pride decided to pack the house with Tom Sermani as the manager. And a man that said on record, I can't believe that he did this. He said, I don't believe in draft picks. So he gave them all away for nothing. So now you don't have fresh legs. You don't have young talent coming to the team. And you pack the team with a bunch of older players that 90% of them were national team players, which means that at certain parts of the year, your best players are gone. Imagine if Real Madrid or Liverpool or Manchester City or Juventus did this. Imagine if they had the most incredible players in the world and 75 to 90% of their players go away for the World Cup, and yet you still have to play league games. How are you going to win like that? But that's the situation that we had. And then the fact that there was a lot of names that were kept simply because of names really made no sense. I'm sorry, the Orlando Pride for a very long time has been Alex Morgan's practice squad. That woman plays more for the national team than she ever did for Orlando. In fact, she did so because guess what? With the national team, it was there was a crap load of money that she was making. And the women's team, it acts as the Harlem Globetrotters of soccer, of football. And she will go there and score tons of goals, then come back to Orlando Pride and not even have a shot on target. And why hide the fact that she was only here because Orlando City gave a job to her husband, and after 2 seasons they shipped him to the LA Galaxy, and she was mad about that. And it's no coincidence that her performance dropped after that. No coincidence at all. Then news that Ali Krieger and Ashley Harris are on their way out. Probably are going to be sent to Gotham FC. Marta, it looks like he's going to go back to Brazil, and people are losing their crap. I'm going to tell you one thing with the situation with Ali Krieger and Ashley Harris. I hated the fact that the team had a married couple in the roster. I'm going to tell you why. If you have ever worked with married people, you know what I'm about to tell you. The problem is that they stick for each other. They stick up for each other. They pressure to get things done for one another. They are a united front, and they will convince other people to align with their views and their vision of what needs to happen professionally. And not only that, is not hard that crap that happens at home is brought with them to the team. You understand what I'm saying? So I always thought that was very short-sighted to have couples in the team. There's Martha was engaged to another player. I don't know if that's still going on. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. When the team Pride had to share training grounds with Orlando City, there was a lot of fooling around with Orlando City B players, and that affected the team. The morale of the team was affected, and I just thought that a lot of the things that were happening off the pitch were destroying the fabric of Orlando Pride. Once this news came out, then all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, I'm not going to support the team anymore. Oh, really? What? How come? Well, I don't live in Florida. I don't live in Orlando. I'm just a fan of these players, and if they are going to be moving on, then my fandom is going to move on with them. And that's a situation that has kept a lot of Orlando City fans from embracing Pride, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was thinking about going to a game. My wife's cousin went to a game, and he said, dude, this place is just jam-packed with crazy women, dads with their little girls, and this is not what you will see in an Orlando City game. Most of these people really are here to cheer for their players, win or lose. The result is not important. They lose, they clap, they win, they clap, they score, they clap, they get scored on, they just start shouting encouragement as if this was a U9 game, and we can't have that. We can't have that. If we are going to say that women are equal to men and that women footballers have the same quality as men, we gotta treat women the same way. We can't say, hey, you tried hard, we'll get him next time, and then tell the man, oh, you had 4 dunk on you. Well, guess what? Better luck next time. We can't do that when we tell the man they suck, and we go online and we tell them how much we hate them, right? Because a lot of toxic fans do that. We have to treat our women. We have to have the same scale, the same expectations for the women. So I expect Orlando City to be a winning organization. So if all this national team stands, all these zombies are not going to be supporting Orlando Pride, good. We don't need you. The door's wide open. Leave. Because Orlando City and Orlando Pride are for the fans of Orlando City and Orlando Pride. And if you live in Orlando, you want a team that represents your city and your community as winners. And I think that it's time to clean house. It's time to clean house with Orlando Pride and make that team a winner. Orlando City B, that's another story for another day. Definitely, we need to address that. But I think in our organization, that's what we need to do. We need to streamline our goals, our metrics, and we need to bring players that want to win. Just because so and so grew up in Orlando does not mean that they have a place here. They have to be good players. They have to win. They have to stay healthy in order to be part of this team. And I think that going on year 8th with Orlando City and year 7th with Orlando Pride is about time. Orlando City has 2 playoff years to show for, 2 playoff entries, and Pride has not made the playoffs since 2016, I believe. The first year, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first or second year that made playoffs. It's been a while. And as a fan, I want to win. And I want to support Pride too. But also, we need to have a team that is going to make me want to go to the stadium. Or the Orlando City has been sending me free Pride tickets for, I think, 2 or 3 years. I haven't even gone once, based on the experience of my wife's cousin. And, a lot of people that were excited thinking that the experience was going to be the same. Just like, dude, no. That team sucks. And I know if you're an Orlando Pride fan, you probably harsh. But Orlando City as well. Look at the stands. The last Orlando City game against Nashville was a do or die, and nobody showed up. And you can say, oh, well, COVID. Well, that didn't stop any of these teams to pack the house in the playoffs. And you can say, oh, well, it was Halloween. I'm sorry. If you are a fan for real, you're going to show up to support your club. I mean, the game was in the afternoon. How much time do you need to get prepared to pass out candy out of your front porch of your house? And now, to be honest, a lot of people have told me, hey, we're a community that has a service-based economy, and most people have lost their jobs, or most people just don't have the disposable income to go to the games. And I understand that, but that's also in Orlando City to fix, because as a club, our tickets have been going up. I honestly do not see how the benefit of being a season ticket holder versus being just a regular fan. There's no difference aside from the fact that you have the same seat game in, game out. And I hope that Orlando City fixes all the situations that are happening. But as far as Orlando Pride and Orlando City, it's time. If you want to win, you have to let people... There's no worse patient than the one that does not want to be healed. That's a old Spanish proverb that just came to mind. We have to allow the surgeon to operate and grab the cancer and take it out in order for the patient to live. I love Orlando City. I love Orlando Pride. I love Orlando City B, our academy, the whole organization. I'm a fan. I bleed purple. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Our attendance has suffered. Our organization as a whole was in turmoil. And we have to allow the powers to be to fix it. And fixing it means some people that we like, some people that has been here for a while, are going to be shown the door. The fact is that we have to judge individuals by the results, what they bring to the table. And we have to say that we have been a poorhouse for far too long. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the vlog. Please consider subscribing. Until next time, vamos Orlando.